Hello, everybody. It's Sunil Tolsiani, and I'm so excited that I'm going to do this interview with my new friend and a member of Private Investment Club, Shashi Barankula. Shashi, welcome.
Thank you, Sunil.
All right, sounds good. Shashi, go ahead. Tell me a little bit about yourself.
So, Sunil, I started, I'm from an IT background. I started working in an IT field for the last 22 years. My last job was an IT director. I used to manage a group of people from different regions in the world, and I implemented software solutions across multinational companies.
Awesome. And how did you get involved in real estate? How long? Tell me about that.
So my first investment in real estate was in 2015 when I started looking for options and as an alternate passive income, right? So my first investment was in 2015. I invested in Ontario townhome, 3-bedroom, 3-washroom, which was, this is in Milton, Ontario, and was around 400,000.
Okay, awesome. And so since then, how many properties have you bought, flipped, kept? How many properties have you invested in?
Since then, I have a portfolio of 22 properties. 22 properties, yes.
Okay, and that's in 7 years, approximately 7 years.
That's in 7 years, yes.
Okay, great, awesome. So, and just tell us, how did you get to know me? You know, it was last year, but go ahead, tell us, how did you get to know us?
So, Sunil, this is exciting because I was during COVID, like, as everybody had time, my passion was like reading. And one of the things I was like networking with people, and one of the networks that I had said, hey, this great guy, Sunil, you should watch his YouTube. I was very impressed watching your first video and your course with Robert G. Allen, and I was like, then I reached out by sending you an email. Later we connected. We connected, and then you gave me the introduction of yourself, and then I became a member in last year, May.
Awesome. Okay, first of all, why did you do that? Why did you become a member? What was it? What's the purpose? You're already doing decent. You were doing good. Why did you become a member?
One thing I learned is over the time, learning by yourself in any industry is tough. But again, if you network, there's a lot more connections and like-minded people, right? Because again, if I have to do this all by myself, I would have struggled a lot.
Yes.
Knowing the family, and then how, oh, you can't invest here, you can't do that, you can't. It's more can'ts than can, right? So what I realized was, when you speak to people who are invested before, they always give you a can. You can do it. Yes, you can pursue that. So your enthusiasm, what I've seen, has really made me to approach you and then learn from you.
Yes, and more importantly, take big actions. I see.
Absolutely, yes.
Yes. Okay, let's talk about right now. You became a member when?
May of 2021.
May of 2021. So from the time that we're recording is just less than a year. And since then, how many properties have you invested in?
Since then, I had 10 properties
10
after
properties.
that, yes.
Okay, all right. And since then, only just since that you became a member, what was your net worth or amount of money that you made approximately up to today?
I think around 1.1 million.
$1.1 million. So congrats. And what kind of cash flow do you make, passive income do you make as of today?
Approximately, I do not calculate much, but approximately around $3,000 to $4,000.
$3,000 to $4,000?
Yes, per month.
Yes. Per month, of course. And that's usually passive?
That's all passive, yes.
Very good, very good. Okay, all right. So this is very inspiring, because a lot of people during the COVID, they're not doing well, and then some people are doing really, really well. And so let's talk about this. Let's inspire people. Let's pick one property, right? One property that you did during COVID recently, because a lot of people are saying can't find good deals. You can't find cash flowing properties. You can't. But like you said, you became a member. You're like, I'm inspired to do something. And so let's talk about one of the properties that you invested in. And I know you've got 10, but let's pick one and show us how you did that.
So one of the properties I'm proud of is after becoming a member, always looking at no money down.
Yes.
That inspired me a lot, and I used that strategy in getting this property, which is at fourplex. It was this property is in Moncton, New Brunswick, and one thing I did was I bought this property virtually. It was nerve wracking, but again, I did it. I'm proud of it because the property has really gone up in value, and is one of the best cash flows that I get from that property.
Okay.
And
Okay, let's do this. Let's assume that we have somebody who's beginning, starting out, and of course we have people who are somewhere in the middle and people who are superstars. But let's assume that you have to explain. Talk about this fourplex, how you found it, you being in Ontario, and those of you who are not watching from Canada, we're talking about a different state or different province, a distance investing when we're talking about this. How did you do it virtually? Let's start. How did you find it? What kind of teamwork? What did you do? What had to happen?
so how did I find? I had a network of realtors in different provinces. So I was connecting with them on a Zoom call, one after the other. And then this realtor that I have found in Moncton, New Brunswick said, hey, a lot of Ontarians are buying virtually. I was really nervous because I had never done that. And then he said, hey, I have this good deal. It's a pocket listing of one of my known people who is selling this property. It's a fourplex. And the good thing is when he gives the numbers, I do have a formula sheet where I run the numbers, and I ran
Yes.
the numbers. It was really amazing cash flow.
What's
Um,
amazing cash flow? What did you do?
so the cap rate was around 9%, right? So that was really good. With no, it's a turnkey property with a 9% cap rate.
Nice. Did it require any work?
It required one tenant to be moved out because they were not paying up to mark and they were not kept clean. But again, he took care of it. He helped us to with the property management as well.
So who does he manage your property or somebody else?
So he had a property management company along with as a real estate agent. So he
Okay,
helped.
got it. So now we're talking about finding a real estate agent, finding a management company. Sometimes they're together, same, right? And in this case, you found him. So you found the property, you did the numbers, and it's a 9 cap rate. So can you explain that very quickly, cap rate?
The cap rate is like the income ratio versus the, I'm not good with the formulas, but what I would say is like whatever the net income that you get divided by your property price would be a cap rate.
Perfect.
Yes.
Perfect. So let's to make it easy for everybody else. Let's say you're buying $100,000 property and you're making $9,000
Yes.
a year net, correct? Without
Correct.
financing. Without financing.
Without financing, yes.
So if you took all the expenses and you did not take into account financing, although you will get financing, but let's say for this purposes, for cap rate purposes, you don't count the financing. So if you're making $9,000 after paying all the expenses per year, that means that's a 9 cap rate, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay, awesome. All right, so you did your due diligence, and how did you do your due diligence to know the location, the property? Tell us a little bit about that, in addition to the numbers.
So one of the things that I figured out was like the best thing to do is get an inspector. So the agent gave me a couple of references of inspectors. So I did speak to them, and then I found one inspector who was very well known in the industry. So we got the inspection done, and an appraisal. So the appraisal came good. Those two things really helped us out because what I figured out by then was many of the investors were doing similar investments, and then I speak to other investors who have done it and really got a confirmation about the inspector and the appraisal officer. So that actually gave me a confidence to move forward.
Okay, so you found, how did you find the inspector?
So the realtor gave me some references.
Okay, so it gave you some
Local,
references,
yes.
and then inspector went in, told you, inspected it, and identified whether there's a problem or not.
Right. Yes. But it was kind of a turnkey. The seller made some good upgrades so that he wanted to run it, but he had another property that he wanted to sell and then move on to another property. So
Why was he selling? Do you know?
he was constructing a 40 unit multiplex, four floors, 40 units. So he needed money. So
Ah,
he sold this and got the money and then move on to another property.
right.
He was into construction.
Yes, I want to point this out because most of the times you need to find a recent or a motivated seller. And in this case, motivated seller does not really mean that he's getting divorced or he's lost his job. In his case, he actually just needs the money because he's got a bigger project to deal with, bigger money to make. So he's willing to sell this off, at a decent price. So you did the numbers, you did the inspection for the property. You got a trustworthy source for real estate agent and trustworthy source to do property management, correct?
Right. Yes.
Okay, so what else, was there anything else that you looked at from a due diligence point of view?
I asked him to get me the pictures and get into each property, do a video call, and also they were tenants. We were actually interviewed the tenants to see how long they stayed. That's how we figured out one tenant was not reasonably paying, and then when we had the condition I put was the condition was if this tenant leaves, then I'm going to close the property, and
Okay,
the seller was able to get that done.
nice. So you actually had 4 tenants.
Right.
Out of 4, one was not performing or paying very little money or whatever.
Yes.
And you actually put into a purchase agreement a condition that they had to get them out.
That unit has to be vacant before I close.
So now that's also very good because sometimes a lot of people buy it themselves and then they try to do it, and then that could take a few months, and then there's a loss of that. So when you do the way you did it, first of all, you're not waiting to kick him out or do whatever they had to do. Right. So there's a motivation on the seller's part to do that, and however they take him out. Okay, so how long did it take to buy and close?
It was 45 days, and it was my first property in New Brunswick, so I had to find out the financial sources. So there was again, with the local references, I got a credit union which was willing to finance. One thing I negotiated with this seller was again a VTB of 15%. So he was willing to give us a vendor take back.
Okay, all right. So most investors understand VTB, especially in Canada and maybe even North America. So tell us, what is a VTB?
So in this case, what I negotiated with the seller was he was in a rush to sell it. And it was during COVID period. I approached to him and saying, hey, if you can finance the property of 15%, then I will be willing to put my 5% down and go to the bank and get a loan to close the property. Because he was one thing was he didn't want to cash out all the money this year, so he said okay, that works for him, and he left the 15% off his the amount, the equity in the property.
Okay, so let's take me through. How much was the price? How much did you buy for?
This was 545,000.
545,000, 4 units.
4 units.
Okay, all right. Did you have to put any money to repair?
No, zero. It was turnkey.
No repair. Okay, so price point. And then the credit union, or as we all know in Canada, we need to put 20% down, correct?
Right, for investment property, 20%.
For investment property. But in this case, you got 15% from the seller.
Correct.
And And then you found a credit union that is willing to take VTB as part of the down payment.
But they were willing to take VTB as part of the
That's
down.
amazing. And then you only put 5% down from your pocket.
Correct. They put
And
5% down.
did the
for the
5% also, was 5% also borrowed?
No, that was my personal money that I put
Personal
in.
money. So let's say 545, let's say 550, and 5% of 550 is less than $30,000, right? $28,000.
Yes.
So probably your closing costs, and you bought fourplex using $30,000.
Right. Fourplex with $30,000.
Right? That's
Yes.
amazing. You know, you can't, you know, most people can't even buy a 500 square foot condo without putting down $100,000 or $150,000 down. So this is amazing.
Right.
Okay, now tell us, what is your net cash flow from this property alone?
Net cash flow, I don't have on top of my roughly around 1,200, I would say.
Now, so I want people to think about it this way. Shashi puts in about $30,000, which includes the closing costs, the land transfer tax, the lawyer fees, and all that stuff. On his $30,000 that he puts down, he finances the rest. And when he finances the rest, he's making how much cash flow again? Sorry,
$1,200.
$1,200 per month.
Yes. Per month, yes.
Okay, so $1,200 a month, and you multiply that by 12, it's 14,400, I believe. 1,200 times 12 is exactly 14,400.
14,400.
Okay, so now think about it this way: 14,400 divided by, let's not remember, first was the cash flow based on cap rate, but now we're going to calculate what? Cash on cash, COC, cash on cash. Now, I'm not sure if you did it yourself or not, but I want you to understand, if you were to take $30,000 and divide it by $15,000, that's a
50%.
Let's say 48% ROI on your money.
Right. Yes.
Right?
Absolutely. Yes. Yes.
So now we didn't even count the appreciation yet. Like if I tell you how much is the value now? How much did you make in appreciation?
I'm hoping that will be around 750, because there are 4 doors in that, and they are all individual PIDs, so I can sell them individually.
Would you say 200,000 more?
200,000 more. Yes.
Okay, so $200,000 if he wants to sell right now. Like people will buy it. You know why? Because it's producing cash flow from day one with good tenants. You know, nobody's paying less. It already has a management company in place. It's a turnkey situation where people will pay for cash flow for turnkey. So we're talking about him making $14,000, let's say, to make it easy, $14,000 a year. Plus, he just ended up making $200,000. I don't know, in what, 6 months or a year? I don't know.
This was I think from June of this year.
June of this year? No, last year.
No, so last year.
June of last year, obviously. So let's say 10 months, right? Within 10 months, 9 months, you made this. So what I want to say to you is this, let's just make it, let's summarize this. You became a member and you wanted to end up buying properties that are below market value and produce cash flow, correct?
Correct, yes.
For the first time, you decided you're going to do a distance, you know, and I remember when we were doing our mentoring session, you indicated to me how just having that session built your confidence to go to the next level, right? So you're like, okay, you go there, you find a property, you do your proper due diligence by doing the numbers, by having an inspector, and then making sure that the value of the property is below. And how did you know the value was below? What did you do?
So there were comparables that the realtor has sent, saying that this was a pocket listing, and at that time there were really less investors who were willing to do it, and he was struggling to, like, you know, as anybody were struggling to sell. But I said, okay, let me take the numbers and look at it. When I looked at the numbers, they were fantastic. I said four units.
You can.
Yes.
Yeah, you can. And you know what's the amazing part is that you ended up doing it with $30,000 out of your pocket. That is unbelievable. Like I said, in Canada, in Toronto, for example, or even extended Toronto, even 100 kilometers away from Toronto, there's no way that you're putting less than close to, you know, 80 or $100,000 in order to do. This is what the regular people do, right? But you
Right.
bought 4 units, you bought them below market value, you bought them cash flow, and you got it for $30,000 out of your pocket. Like, I don't know, that's like, wow, that's like patting yourself on the back. And so I'm very proud of you. Of course, the fact that you bought 10 properties since you became a member, well, that is big and that's huge. But just this property alone makes it like, wow, impact. So it is really, really, really good. And on top of that, it's gone up by $200,000. And of course, making $14,400 a year on your $30,000 is like at least 45% ROI on your money. And if you count the $200,000, then it's a crazy amount of return.
That's right. Yes.
All right, sounds good. So what is it in future for you, my friend? You became a member, you shared with me what is it you want, but share with us what's your future look like in real estate investing? How far are you going to go? Are you stopping or are you exploding? What are you thinking?
At this point, I'm relooking all my investment to strategize. How can I increase the income from those potential income? Because there were some properties that I have basements available. So I'm working with the contractors and property management team to see how can I put a basement unit or extend the value, like, you know, extend the living space and make sure I can maximize the rental income from those properties.
And in the future, are you thinking of buying more properties or are you done?
I'm always looking. I speak to people. I'm kind of, I network with a lot of people now. It's when it's open up, I'm kind of inviting people to the office to sit with me and then just brainstorm how we can buy more properties. Yes.
Sounds good. All right, sounds good. So Shashi, I am really proud of you. You know, you have so many properties already. You bought 10. You're private investment clubs, a millionaire. I know some of the members you're connecting with and all that kind of stuff. So I want to see you continuous success. I want you to become a multi-millionaire of private investment club like some of them have become. And thank you for inspiring everybody who's watching this. Guys, if you like something like this, make sure you subscribe to my YouTube channel, and because you'll see some of the other amazing people and just normal regular people doing crazy extraordinary stuff. Shashi, good to have you, my friend.
Thank you very much, Sunil.
You're welcome. Take good care. Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.